Good day, traders. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, drop a comment. Confirm you can hear me. Confirm you can see my screen. How has been your week? I hope it's been profitable. Mine has been profitable. I've made so much profit this week. This week has been good. This week has been good. How has it been at your hand? How has it been at your hand? Hope you've made some good profit this week. Drop a comment if you can hear me loud and clear. Drop a comment if you can hear me loud and clear. Start dropping your questions. If you have any questions, if there's any pair you want me to analyze, please drop it in the comment section. If there's any pair you want me to analyze, drop it in the comment section. Okay, so let's start the class. Drop questions if you have any. All the analysis, all the prediction I gave this week, since we started the class on Monday, Tuesday, all played out. All the predictions played out. So it is expected that this week you are in profit. If you executed those signals, you should be in profit. You should be in profit. All the analysis or the prediction I gave this week, since we started the class on Monday, Tuesday, all played out. All the predictions played out. Okay, so let's start by looking at the calendar for today. I think we are expecting two major news, one from Great Britain and one from the United States. Okay, Great Britain monetary policy reports, official bank rates votes, and bank rates. Okay, this will be released by 12 p.m. Nigerian time. Yeah, 12 p.m. Nigerian time. And also by 12:30, the Governor Bali will be speaking by. That's the Bank of England governor will be speaking by 12:30. Now, all these are major news. So if you are considering trading GBP pairs, I would advise you wait for this news to be released before you take any trade on GBP pairs. That's by you could look for your setup by 1 p.m. By 1 p.m. The last news for Great Britain will be released by 12:30. So you should look for your setup by 1 or by 2 p.m. if you are considering trading GBP pairs. And if you have active trades on GBP pairs, for example, if you bought GBP USD has been bullish since Tuesday. Yeah, GBP USD has been bullish. By now, you should be in good profit. That's if you entered the trade at the early stage. If you join the trend early, by now you should be in good profit. So you either close the trade in profit before the news, or you close partials. Now, when your shoes, that is what I would do. I closed all my GBP trades yesterday. Yesterday night, I closed all my GBP trades. I made close to 80 to 90 pips on GBP USD. I closed everything yesterday. Now, I'd advise that you do the same. Close partials, not even break even. You should close partials, close some profits. Okay, so that's my advice. And by 1:30, United States will be releasing its unemployment claims. The previous is 218. The forecast is 221. 221. So they are expecting the numbers to increase. Right? This is unemployment claim. So if the actual is less than the forecast, that will be good for the United States dollar. If actual is less than the forecast, it will be good for the dollar. If it is higher than the forecast, it will be negative for the dollar. I hope that is clear. If you can hear me, drop a comment. If you can hear me, drop a comment. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, drop a comment. Okay, so that's it for the fundamentals. So let's go to the charts. We'll start by looking at DXY to know the strength of the dollar. I always advise before you execute any trade on USD pairs, always check DSY. Always check DSY. Okay, always check DSY before you take any trade on GBP USD pairs. Okay, so let's start with the daily time frame. As you can see, dollar has been bearish. This was today is Thursday. We had the Monday candle, Tuesday. So dollar started selling on Tuesday. Dollar started selling on Tuesday. And right now, dollar is at a discount area. Okay, dollar is at a discount area. This won't be the right time or good price to buy dollar. Sorry, to sell. This won't be the right time or good price to sell dollar. If you had missed entering selling dollar from this zone, you shouldn't sell from this zone. Though the trend is still bearish, you can see that price is at a discount area. If you apply your Fibonacci from this swing low to this swing high, okay, price is currently at a discount area and you don't sell at discount. You're advised to sell at premium. You're advised to sell at premium. So if you have not taken a sell trade, if you've not sold dollar, that is, if you've not bought GBP USD, Euro USD, NZD USD from Tuesday, don't take buy trades on those pairs today. Okay. So let's go down to 4 hours. So if you want to take a sell on GBP USD or you want to sell dollar today, if you want to sell dollar today, wait for price to fill this fair value gap on 4 hour. This fair value gap, and these are the areas you should consider joining the bearish trend on DXY. Wait for a pullback. As you can see, the current 4 hour might close as an hammer. It might close as an hammer or a spinning top, which indicates change in trend from bearish to bullish. Okay, so personally, I'm waiting for price to pull back to one of these fair value gaps. Okay, it pulls back to these fair value gaps and I see my setup, my pattern to sell. I'm going to take a sell. If it breaks out from this fair value gap, it means it's going for this fair value gap. After price fills the fair value gap, I wait for my bearish reversal pattern to form before I take a sell. So my bias for the dollar today is bearish. My bias for the dollar today is bearish, but I need to see price pull back to this zone before taking a sell on dollar. I hope that is clear. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? I'm not seeing your comments. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, I would like to know. If you can hear me, I would like to know. Okay. So that's my take on dollar index. Let's see yen baskets. If you have any question, any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. Okay, so let's start with the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, if you join the class we had on Tuesday and on Wednesday, I told you guys my bias for yen this week is bearish. And you can see this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It has been bearish. First thing they did this week was to sweep the liquidity residing at the high of Monday, created a new high on Tuesday, and from Tuesday to now, yen has been bearish. Yen has been bearish, and it is still bearish. It is still bearish. Yen is likely going to come fill this fair value gap. It's likely going to come fill this fair value gap. That is what I see on yen chart. That is what I see on yen chart. Okay, that is what I see on yen chart. So this morning They've swept liquidity residing at this relative equal high. And I think we had a fair value gap here after the formation of this hanging man and engulfing pattern. Let's just go down to lower time frame. The fair value gap was created at this point. Okay, price has already filled this fair value gap. Price already filled this fair value gap at this point. So let's go down to lower time frame. Probably at this point, the fair value gap was created, and that was the reason for that. Okay, so you can see on this is 1 hour time frame. We had this fair value gap on 1 hour time frame. You can see. So that could also be the reason for this retracement. So what they did was to sweep liquidity residing at this high. And you can see what played out after the liquidity got swept. You can see the pattern you had here on 1 hour time frame. So this would have been the best entry for sales. This would have been the best entry after the formation of this reversal pattern, this spiraling top. This would have been the best time to sell. So if you had missed this move, wait for the second opportunity. And the second opportunity would be when price pulls back to this fair value gap. Okay, look for your entries at this zone. Okay, wait for price to pull back to this zone before you sell. You could also take some trade. Okay, could also take some trade. Like I've always said, that price will pull back to this area of interest is a probability. It is not guaranteed. So if you have good capital, you can go in with small lot size while you hope that price will pull back to this zone for you to take more trades. You should go in with a small lot size. Take some risk. Take some risk at this point. In the case that price does not pull back to this fair value gap, you still make some profit if price keeps dropping from the current market price. So that's my take on yen. That's my take on yen. I'm bearish on yen and I'm bearish on the dollar. But dollar, we would see a retracement on the dollar before it sells. We would see a retracement on the dollar before it sells. So let's look at currency pairs GBP USD. GBP USD, let's start with the daily time frame. So GBP USD has been bullish. If you had bought GBP USD on Tuesday, you should have made close to close to 100 pips. Yeah, close to 100 pips. If you had bought on Tuesday, you should have made close to 100 pips on GBP USD. This is the daily time frame. Yesterday closed strongly bullish. This morning, they've swept the liquidity residing at this previous high. They've swept the liquidity residing at this previous high. Okay, so let's go down to 4 hour. Okay, so you can see the pattern that formed on 4 hour. The previous 4 hour candle closed as an inverted armor, or is this a spinning top? Okay, so you can see this is an this is a shooting star. Sorry, this is a shooting star. And I think the liquidity residing at this previous high. Was it swept? No, they've not swept the liquidity residing at this previous high. Okay, so we have a bearish reversal pattern here on 4 hour time frame, and price might pull back. You might see a retracement from this level. Okay, so for me today, I will be looking to buy GBP USD from this zone, this fair value gap. I'd love to see price fill this fair value gap. Good morning, sir. Mr. Patrick, good morning. So I'd love to see price pull back for GBP USD to this zone. This is a 4 hour fair value gap. Let's go to 1 hour. Okay, so we have this fair value gap on 1 hour. So this is where I would be considering buying GBP USD. Okay, I'd like to buy GBP USD from this zone. You can see what we have on 15 minutes also. This is a bearish reversal pattern. You can see we had a doji, we had what's it called, a spinning top. So this is a bearish reversal pattern on GBP USD. So this is likely going to push price down. This pattern is likely going to push the price down. So I'll be looking for buys around this area. I don't want to trade against the trend. I don't want to trade against the trend. I would have taken this sell. I would have executed this sell. All right, we'll look at Euro JPY in a few minutes. I just want us to look at the major currency pairs before we look at crosses. Okay, so these are the areas I would be considering. Okay, so this is where I would look for my buys. This is where I'll look for my buys. From this point, okay, I'm looking for my buys from this zone or from this zone. Okay, so these are the areas I will be looking for my buys on GBP USD. All right, but I must see Australian dollar USD and gold. Okay, so this is my take on GBP USD. I want to see retracement to this fair value gap or this fair value gap before going bullish. Okay, let's move. Let's look at Euro USD. Then we'll look at other instruments. Euro USD. Let's start with the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, you can see Euro USD has been bullish since Tuesday. After the formation of this hammer, you can see Euro USD has been bullish. So this would have been the best entry for Euro USD this week. So if you have missed buying Euro USD from this point, buying from this point is at a very high risk, right? If you buy from this point, is at a very high risk. Why? This would have been your entry. Also, you can see that a fair value gap just got filled. That's the reason you cannot buy from the current market price. You can see that price just filled this fair value gap. So there's a high probability that price could retrace from the current market price after filling this fair value gap. Also, if you apply your Fibonacci from this swing high to this swing low, you would agree with me that price is currently at extreme premium. Extreme premium. And you don't buy at premium. You sell at premium. You can see that. So it will not be wise to buy Euro USD from the current market price. So if you want to buy Euro USD today, if you want to buy Euro, you can see the pattern we had on 4 hour. The previous candlestick closed as a shooting star, a bullish shooting star. If the current candlestick closes bearish, there is a high probability that Euro USD will sell. If the current 4 hour, this candle will close by two, and that's when the major news will be released. So if this closes bearish, there's a high probability that Euro USD would sell. So I would like to see Euro USD come fill this fair value gap. Okay, this is where I'll be looking for buys. This fair value gap or this fair value gap. This would be a very good area to risk buying Euro USD. So that's my take on Euro USD. Look for buys after price fills one of these fair value gaps. Okay. Okay, so Mr. Rotesco said we should look at Euro JPY. Okay, let's look at Euro JPY. Like I said, the yen basket is bearish. I think yen is weak at the moment, so we should look for buys on Euro JPY. We should look for buys on Euro JPY if yen basket is bearish. we should look for buys on Euro JPY. Okay, so you can see, let's start with the daily time frame. Yen Euro JPY also has been bullish Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So the best entry for yen would have been after the close of Tuesday candle. That would have been the best entry. Even on 4 hour, your entry should have entered earlier on 4 hour. So this would have been a good entry. You can see that we had a bullish reversal pattern here on 4 hour. You can see we had a bullish reversal pattern here. We had an AMA here. We had AMA. We had spinning bottom. Then we have this engulfing candle. This candle closed above the high of this spinning bottom. So we had a bullish reversal pattern at this point. So this would have been the best opportunity to buy Euro JPY. If you had bought Euro JPY, and now you should be out of this trade. So those who bought from this point now, most of them will be closing their trade. Most of them would have taken profits out of the market, and that's the reason for this retracement. That's the reason for this retracement. Now, if you had missed this move, you had a second opportunity after the formation of this engulfing pattern here. You should have taken a buy from that point. This is the second opportunity. And like I said, if you've missed the first opportunity, you missed the second opportunity, it will be wrong for you to take the trade at this point. Okay, it will be wrong to take the trade at this point. Okay, the risk will be too high. But if you want to take the trade, if you want to take the trade on Euro JPY, you've missed the first opportunity, you've missed the second opportunity, but you still want to take the risk. Still want to take the risk buying Euro JPY. Like I said, yen is weak, so we should look for buys on Euro JPY. So you can see the previous 4 hour candle closed as an AMA. This is an AMA, and I believe this pullback was to fill a fair value gap. There was a fair value gap that was created here, I believe, on a lower time frame. That's the reason for the retracement. Let's just confirm after the formation of this candle. Let's go down to 1 hour. There's a fair value gap. I believe it came to fill. Let's go to 15 minutes. Let's see 15 minutes. So you can see what we have here on 15 minutes. So I think we had a fair value gap here on 15 minutes time frame. And see, we had, yeah, I think this is the reason. You can see this fair value gap. You can see we had this fair value gap. Yeah, that's the reason for the retracement. You can see we had this fair value gap here, and price pulled back to fill that fair value gap at this point. That was late hours of yesterday, yesterday. And this low became an area of liquidity. So what they did this morning, you would have with me, a lot of retail traders would have bought after filling this fair value gap. Most IC traders would have bought, and their stop losses will be residing at this low. So those who are greedy, because if you had bought from this point, at this point, you should have taken some profits out of the market. If you didn't take profits out of the market at this point, you should have taken profits out of the market at this point. But those who are greedy, who still have their trades running, their liquidity, which was residing at this previous low, has been swept. So that's the reason. So after price filled the fair value gap at this point, what happened? We had a MIA indicating change in trend from bearish to bullish. So this would have been a good entry for today's market. After the formation of this pattern, these are bullish reversal patterns. And you see that this would have been a good entry. So if you have missed this move, best you wait for price to pull back to this fair value gap. If I want to buy Euro JPY today, I want to see price pull back to this zone. I want to see Euro JPY pull back to this zone or this fair value gap. This is where I'll be looking for my buys on Euro JPY. Exactly. Exactly. So that's my take on Euro JPY. Euro JPY is bullish, but wait for a retracement on Euro JPY before you take the trade. Okay, wait for a retracement on Euro JPY before you take the trade. I hope that is clear. Okay, so let's look at Australian dollar USD. Then we'll look at gold. Australian dollar USD, Australian dollar USD. Um, Australian dollar USD has been bullish and it is still bullish. Australian dollar USD has been bullish and it is still bullish. But buying it at the moment or at the current market price is at a very high risk. Buying it unless you have an open trade on Australian dollar. If you had bought earlier, probably you bought on Tuesday or you bought yesterday. Okay. But if you don't have a trade, if you don't have a buy trade on Australian dollar USD, this is not the right time to buy. This is not the right time to buy. And if you have a buy trade on Australian dollar USD, you should manage your trades. Take some profit out of the market. Very important. Take some profit out of the market. So on Australian dollar USD, they've swept the liquidity that was residing at this relative equal high. The liquidity has been swept. So let's see in 4 hour. Okay, so we have what looks like a bearish reversal pattern, but not a valid one. But if you go down to 1 hour, 15 minutes, I'm sure you would find a bearish reversal pattern. You can see 1 hour. You can see the pattern we have on 1 hour. This is a spinning top. This is a spinning top indicating change in trend from bullish to bearish. Let me see what's happening on 15 minutes time frame. Let me go back to 4 hour. Okay, after the formation of the 4 hour, let me see. Go down to 1 hour. Okay, bearish reversal pattern, 15 minutes. Okay, so okay, so if 1 hour candle closes below this area, this support that it has created here, if 1 hour candle closes below, Australian dollar USD is going to sell. Australian dollar USD is going to sell if 1 hour candle closes below this support. If by 11 the candle closes below this support, we would see a little retracement on Australian dollar USD. We'll see a little retracement on Australian dollar USD. So if you want to buy Australian dollar USD today, I would advise you wait for price to pull back from this fair value gap. Yes. Wait for price to pull back to this fair value gap. This is for our fair value gap. Let's go to 1 hour. Okay. So this is where you should look for your buys on Australian dollar USD today. The trend is still bullish. But we'll see a retracement to these fair value gaps. This is where you should be looking for your buy setup on Australian dollar USD. Okay, this is where you should be looking for your buy Australian dollar USD. Okay, so that's my take on Australian dollar USD. Australian dollar USD is still bullish. Australian dollar USD is still bullish. It's still bullish. I hope that is clear. So let's look at gold, XAUUSD. Gold is still bullish also. Gold is still bullish. Gold is still bullish. Let's start with the daily. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I think gold just filled, let's see for hour, I think it just filled a fair value gap on, okay, I think it just filled a fair value gap on 4 hour time frame. You can see this fair value gap. This fair value gap is acting as a resistance. You can see this fair value gap is acting as a resistance. And you see that, but we still have a fair value gap above it on a 4 hour time frame, which I believe they're going to fill. Okay, so this will be the next target for gold, 3419.9. This will be the next target for gold. So a breakout from this zone will be a confirmation. That will be the confirmation to buy. A breakout from this zone, okay, breakout from this zone, or that price breaks out from this zone, for us to buy, or let's see 1 hour. Okay, so we had this fair value gap here on 1 hour. Let me go down to 15 minutes time frame. So we had this, okay, we have this fair value gap. So this is where you should look for buys on gold. This is where you should look for buys on gold. They're going to come fill this fair value gap or sweep the liquidity residing at this previous low. So this is where you should be considering going bullish on gold. Okay, this is where you should be considering going bullish on gold. If a bullish reversal pattern forms after this gap gets filled or after this liquidity gets swept, then you should look for your buys. Gold is bullish. Gold is bullish. Gold is bullish. Gold is bullish. But like I said, if you're trading dollar pairs, if you want to trade dollar pairs today, wait for the major news to be released. Wait for the major news for dollar and the Great Britain news to be released before you take any trade on dollar pairs. Just an advice. Just an advice. When major news like this are being expected, most times price goes into a range. Price goes into a range, and you don't want to take that risk. You don't want to be in the market when price will be ranging. Be in the market when the money is available. When there is high volatility, that is when you should get into the market. Okay? So that your SL won't be used as liquidity. Do you have any other question? Is there any other pair you want me to analyze? Let me know. Yes, is it gold or Euro JPY? Sir Patrick, are you referring to JPY or gold? Are you referring to JPY or gold? Euro JPY or gold? For Euro JPY, if you want to trade pullback on Euro JPY, if you want to trade pullback on Euro JPY, 1 hour candle should close below the low of this candle. If you want to trade the retracement on Euro JPY, ensure that 1 hour candle closes below the low of this candle before you take the trade. If you want to sell to this fair value gap, this will be your target. Your first target, if you want to sell Euro JPY, your first target should be this fair value gap. Okay, that should be your first target. Your second target will be this, the low of this fair value gap here. Okay, so that's it for gold. I would not advise that you take sell or buy now. For gold, I would not advise that you take buy or sell. Price has already retraced. Okay, price has already retraced. So taking a buy on gold won't make sense now. It won't make sense now. Okay. Don't take buy or sell on gold now. Don't take buy or sell on gold. Okay, until price fills the fair value gap on 15 minutes or so the liquidity residing at this low. Okay, don't take any trade on gold right now. Don't take any trade. If you sell, the risk is high. If you buy, the risk is high. So don't take any trade on gold now. Any other question? Is there any other pair you want me to analyze? Let me know in the comment section. If there are no questions, we'll have to end the session. Do you have any question, any pair you want me to analyze? Let me know. Let me know. As you trade, ensure you apply good risk and money management. Please don't over leverage. One or two trades a day is okay. You shouldn't take more than 2 trades in a day. If your first trade is a loss, you can go for the second one. If the first trade is profit, then you can stop trading for that day. You can end trading for that day. And if you insist that you want to take another trade for that day after you have made profit, you should risk maybe between 30 to 50%. So let's say you made $100 on your first trade. On the second trade, you shouldn't risk more than $30, $30 to $40, maximum 50% of whatever profit you've made on the first trade. That's the risk you should take on the second trade. Or you close trade or close market for that day. Exactly. Manage risk properly, please. It's very important. Very important. Okay, US 100. US 100 is bullish. This is a weekly time frame. US 100 is bullish. It's been bullish since the market opened this week. So if you are not taking the trade at the open of the market this week, you should not buy from the current market price. It is bullish, but you don't want to buy from the current market price. There's a high probability your stop loss will be used as liquidity. So please don't don't buy. Don't buy. Okay? Don't buy. I would rather risk selling. If I want to take any risk today, I will look for sales. Let's see. Let's see for our okay. So you could look for sales. Okay. So I think it wants to come fill this fair value gap. I think it wants to come fill this fair value gap. So you could look for sales after it fills this fair value gap. Okay. So that's my take. You could look for sales after it fills on this fair value gap. Now it has tested that fair value gap. Price is currently inside this fair value gap, inside this zone. So you wait for price to fill it entirely or wait for a bearish reversal pattern to form. Look for your bearish pattern, okay, to sell. Look for your bearish pattern. If a bearish pattern forms after price fills this gap or after price has tested this fair value gap, then you should look for your sales. Don't buy. Don't buy from the current market price. It's very risky. It's very risky to buy. If you want to risk buying, so you have this fair value gap, you could look for buys. If you want to join the bullish trend, wait for a retracement to this fair value gap. Ensure that this fair value gap gets filled before you buy. And see the bullish move here started from this point. You had your doji here, you had a bullish candle. This is where you should have entered by. You missed this opportunity. It gave you the second opportunity here after filling this fair value gap. You can see after it filled that fair value gap, what formed? A bullish reversal pattern formed. We had a spinning bottom. We had an engulfing candle. This candle closed above the high of the spinning bottom. So this was the first opportunity. If you had missed this, this is second opportunity. So if you have missed first, second opportunity, it will make no sense for you to buy from this point. Okay, so you need to wait for price to retrace back. If you want to risk buying today, the long-term trend is still bullish. It is still very bullish. Okay, so that's my take on US 100. If you have any other question, please give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't done that, give it a thumbs up. Give the video a thumbs up. If this is your first time joining the live stream, do subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live, you get notified by YouTube. Thanks for joining today's on live stream. Any question? Any question? US 30. US 30 also is bullish. US 30 is bullish. It's bullish. US 30 is bullish. That tells you that the US economy is doing well. The US economy is bullish at the moment. It is bullish. So the dollar should be bullish also, right? Doing well. It's bullish. So I think that will be all for today's session. It is bullish, but don't buy from the current market price. Don't buy from the current market price. Don't buy from the current market price. If you want to buy, wait for a retracement that's created a fair value gap. Okay, let's go down to 4-hour time frame. So you can see we have several fair value gaps here on 4-hour time frame. So price might want to pull back to fill one of these fair value gaps. So we have this, okay, this, okay. This is the only fair value gap on 4-hour. So if you want to buy, you want to wait for price to pull back. Okay, don't buy, don't sell now. Don't buy, don't sell. Don't buy, don't sell. Okay, so we have this fair value gap here. So this retracement could just be to fill this fair value gap. So you either look for sales after this fair value gap gets filled. You look for sales maybe to this zone. Okay, but if price breaks out from this fair value gap, then it's going for fair value gaps above this one. You can see we have, this is 4-hour time frame. We have a lot of fair value gaps that it needs to fill before it goes bearish. So look for your sales after those fair value gap gets filled. Look for buys from this zone. So this is not the right time to buy. This is not the right time to sell. So I think that will be all for today's session. I appreciate you all for your participation, and I wish you all a profitable trading day. Bye for now.